Welcome. I have a little piece to finish on Rubik's Cube, which connects the sun, which connects the moon, which connects the four worlds and fifth world of RO, ST, ND, RD, TH, and ETH. The ETH is the electronic transfer world, which is the passage between all worlds. It's the energy cycle that moves from one to one. It's at number 5. It's not 6, and it's not 5. I mean, it's 5, it's not 6, and it's not 4. It's not 2, and it's not 8. It's 1, 3, 7, and 9. It's the electronic birth here on this planet. To be first, you are ST. But to be nothing at all, you're a 0. So you are the row, you are the egg. You are the 9, 6 of 1, 5. 1, 5 is 6, 9, 6 is 6, 8, 7 is 6, 7, 8 is 6, 6, 10 is not 6. It may be 16, but because it's already been created and created the 10, and the 10 is created by 2 and 8, 1 and 9, 3 and 7 Nibiru, it is not. But I just came upon everything that started me years ago, and I know you're going to laugh, and I'm going to get this other part of the video on, so please bear with me. This is extremely difficult to concentrate on one item. As you find an item for the item to fit, and you adjust the item, and you must reflect on the item, for the item needs a leg to stand on, something for its own expression, to say that its value of explanation is good enough for this item that we are expressing. Once I get to this item, I start to grow. And I have to stop. And I hate to stop. Because while I start on to the next number that compares everything, the next number has a part of the last expression I needed for the expression that I'm expressing. And if I don't go to it and express its leg to stand on, then it won't have a foot to stand on itself. So now I need people taking notes so we can go back to what we did partially, but we didn't complete, because the expansion is when the web is created. I have to create a 360-degree web as we were taught, in a complete circle. But before I create any of the web, I must do one thing. I must find its perimeters with this. But it has to be measured at a certain level, because this has to be the outside of my cube. We must start on this angle to the furthest point. By not starting at the furthest point, we're starting at the wrong point. Therefore, we stand it straight up, and that's the wrong point. We must go on one of these angles. We do the whole perimeter. We start at a point which is at the extremities of 1. They call it point 0 because it's the beginning of the interior and the exterior of the line creating the circle, which, once you go around, you can now create your square by expanding. You know how the corners work. What I want to show you is how I started this. Everything seems to relate itself to 7 and 6, to 8 and 5, to 9 and 4, 13, 13, 13. When 4 touches 9, 4 touches 3, it's part of the angle of creating one of the legs, almost like this, and then this. This is what it looks like. Or you can stand it up. You can put it any way you want, because all the numbers from the number positions and numbers used as areas, beginning as 1 to 9 areas plus area position at the extremity, call it point 0, from one extremity, half in and half out. All of a sudden, somehow, something became halved. If it becomes half, and all of a sudden, anything that matches with half is 5 and 0. And if it touches 5 and 0 and you need the space to move within, you need 1. 5 and 1 is 6. We're going to get on to the next equation and show you what I want to show you by everything I've been telling you, and I haven't told you much at all, except for confuse you in the way you think already. To understand the way I think, you can get online and follow and take part in what I do. Is that selfish of me and what I do because of what I do? I hate to say that. That's what I do. 4 by 37, wow. 28 and 20 is 148, all the vowels. I didn't tell you, this week is all about beans and vegetables. That's all I'm eating this week. Beans and vegetables and carrot juice. This is how basically it all began for me. It was another dimension of Dragon Ball Z, 4226. When you put 4226 and turn it around as 6224, you end up with 6 and 4 is 10. 10 automatically becomes 16. 16 becomes 7. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 and 2 is 4. And we end up with 74474. 13 moons for the cycle is a total of 62,062, but the 0 gets exchanged for a 6 now, but we're not going to go any further. Do you follow? 744. When we add these up one more time, this becomes a 5, 8, 8, 5. We end up with 1313, right? 5, 8, 8, 5. 5 and 8 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. We end up with just 44. And now we start with the group of 44s, beginning to PH and X, how it creates this world. So I told you that at Dragon Ball Z, but it goes a little bit deeper. It mentions the return, I don't know, is it Sigmund Freud? The Sig test. Number 2G, Satan 1, Satan 2, the spawn. Another dimension, support, formulas, the return of the Sig test 2, 1 of 222 pages. This was done 8 years ago. The number 7286 is marked on the top. 5281 is marked on the bottom. The end date, minus 500 years, is 5781. Now, if you want to see a little bit of 5781 before we go on with that, the Monopoly game is 40 around plus the starting on the go. When you multiply the Monopoly game of 41 times 1 for 1 for 1 for 1 for 1 is 5781. It's in 6 years from now, but it's not in 6 years from now. I told you, the 500 years, they weren't there. They started after. They started 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. Then man was made, 06. Now it's all over. Take away 6 years from 5281, and you have 5775. That's the next Hebrew New Year's. And not only that, 5 times 7 and 5 plus 7 equal 47 on both sides, bringing the Dragon Ball Z 4775 return from another dimension parallel and exact. Right on. It's a number. 7 times 4 is 28. It's the TH heaven. It's part of the EIN 59 and equals 14N Einstein series of 1776. 7667, 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals 7. So you're 7 and 4. 7 and 4 is the size of a diamond. 7 and 4, 6.66 billion in people in the world, divided by the 9 lives of the cat, in which 8 he lives and 1 is in his heart. So we go back over here, and this is actually 41141. The cross of Rubik's Cube is in the center. To go around the Monopoly board, it's 41. 14 is next year 2014, and 1 and 4 creates 9. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals 9. 1 plus 4, 1 times 4 equals 9. And it's 5454. 54. Love. You ever play tennis? What's the angle of the serve? Love. Lovejoy. 16, 15, 25. 1667 plus 333 years of the pig of Abraham. Why? 5775. 5 and 7 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 and 2 is 3. 333, LUC in the numerological value. We get to the year 2000. The year 2000, because they're zeros, we bring up to all 6. 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Times 2, 423. Jail. 423 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, is 441. Plus 2 is 443. 3 by 44 is 1820, it's 443. 4 by 4 is 16, by 3 is 48, and that is the initials and the numbers for the A family. 4 plus 8 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3. Love, 54. The short count, 18. 18 and 54 is 9 times 8, 72. That's the most you can go. Okay? The difference between 19 and 91 is 72. It is the greatest distance of birth. You can't have any other. The shortest distance, but in between, is 71. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 plus 2 is 9. B-G-I. It says win big. The Star of Bethlehem has a total count of 74. The same thing as Jesus. And if you notice at the end, if you take a good look, you see what number it has? There is no king. There's only a queen. 1112 is where the queen stops. Ace to queen. 8 and 7 equals 6. 74, the number of Bethlehem in the short count of 44. 4 and 4 is 8. 7 and 4 is 11. 118, which counts from ace to the letter R. It's the same thing. In the first area, it was 1 and 4. Now it's 1 and 8. 1 for 1 exchange is the 9 card, because in the 9 card, there's 4 corners. In the 9 card, there's 4 inside. We have 1 center for 4 to corners, and 1 center for the 4 here. 1 for 1. The 9 card. This is on a different scale. The other thing about Bethlehem, that if you take a good look at it, the short count and the long count, it's 1111. If we want to add the 6 on because there's a T, we can also, okay, we add on the 6 because it's a T. It makes 44, and this is the presidency we're in right now. 41 around the Monopoly board times 3 is 123. We have 50 stars on the flag. We have 30 eggs in a tray, and we're running into the 43rd president. 34, 43, JFK, PFK, Barack Obama, 43 and 34 equals 77. 123 times 47, 5781, same number. 50, the 50 golden eggs is 2350, which makes 2356, 79. I'll have to explain this to you, that these are the stars. This is the time, or Jesus, or the Star of Bethlehem. 1, 4, and 7. 1 goes where this spot is. 4 goes where this spot is. 7 goes here. 8 and 9 are on the outside. They equal 72. The piano rules, G and A. Now we're going to go a little bit higher. The Star of Bethlehem. We did that. Now we have to multiply. Where are my numbers now? 3, 4, 7, 8. 3, 4. Okay, these 4 numbers, these 4 here. The 4 dice that goes in the center. 3 times 4 is 12. Times 7 is 84. Times 6 equals to 504. Is that what it is? 42, 168. 168 by 3 is 4. Yeah, it's 504. Do you know what that is? That's 777. It's 3 weeks on the dice before you go to the next dice, because the moons, they shift. They have to shift. It's not me that says they shift. They have to shift. It's the numbers. The numbers show it. It's from one world opens up, the other one closes. Halfway in one, halfway in the other, the moon comes out, the moon goes away, big bang. It's all in the numbers. It's not me. If you just want to sit down here, maybe we'll get out some ink and you'll be able to write yourself and see for your own self. Maybe I don't explain it properly. So we get 3 weeks at 168 hours a week to a total of 504. 56 times 9 equals 504. 9 comets, because that's what it basically works out to. What I did over here now is I took each of the numbers, 3 and 4, 4 and 7, 7 and 6, and 3 and 9, and I connected them all the way around. Added 7, added 11, added 13, added 9, which becomes your 72, a 49. You remember the 86 I had? Well, the only thing that's missing between this and the 86 is 37. 37. 3 and 7 is 10. 4 and 6 is 10. We walked the earth is 4 and 6. We missed the 3 and 7. And that's Nibiru. And Bethlehem, at the end of it all, okay, ends up to be the star of Jupiter, the main star. Something happens when this star's around. This is the action star. Look, Ham for Abraham. Bet or vet? Is it, which part is he? So anyways, we got the 504. 504 plus the 6 that goes here, exchange, is 564, plus 9 plus 4 is 13, and 9 is 22. Add 22 is 586. Of 7286, this is half. It would be 43. 3 and 4 is Earth and Mars. But it's in the middle because it takes 2 sides. Don't you know the way the dice cube works? First we set up with the 3 this way. Then they put the 3 this way, and they put the 3 this way. At the end of it all, it looks like this. When you look at it from both sides, it looks like this. The only thing that's missing is this and the angles. That's your turn. 3 and 3, 303, because there's nothing there right now. You cannot connect, but when you do connect, that's right. It becomes the electronic Kinect. And two ways to look at it if you want, it can be ease. But once you keep opening up the divisions for each one to have its own corridors, the letters change. And like I said, you can use 1, 2 levels, 1, 2 levels. Either you can put the flat at the bottom, you can put the flat on the top, but if you put the flat on the top, you're using 3 levels. You're using the letter I. Which way are you going? What are the possibilities on the square paper? So now let's try and go into the next, and if you're wondering why I speak the way I speak, try and remember what I say, because I can't always remember myself. I speak this way because it's a way of almost like typing out how I speak. Okay? Now, I don't want to make a crisscross right now. We have 586, which 5 times 8 is 40, times 6 is 240. That's 10 days. 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days. Or, if you want to put it in expression, because they removed the letter Q and they put it on the debit machine where the number 1 is, so you can only add up to P before it breaks and then restarts at R and goes all the way to Z, then you add that up. So it ends up stopping at 136. 136, 613 laws of Moses. 6 points for a touchdown, 3 points for a field goal, and 1 for the extra point. Now, the 2-point play came into pass because we're playing in this world. We're making our own decisions. So you get 2 points. You're not taking the 1 point, you're taking the 2 points. You're going on the ground, you're taking a chance. CLU, taking a chance. CLU is 3-3-3. And you connect to the 3 worlds. What are you going to do? Are you going to connect? Are you going to kick? You're going to run it on the ground, you're going to pass it in the air. What's going to happen? A fumble would be great. But anyways, we get back to 586, 240, plus 5, plus 8, plus 6, which is the 19. Because 6 and 8 and 5, once you have 5, the 7 is the house. Once you have 5 at your heart, between 6 and 8 is 5 and 7, or 7 and 9. So the 7th gate of the 9th birth comes out to play a 6th man in the 8th house. The H. And the H connects onto this. This is everything here. I will show you if I have a little time later. So we get to 259. Now from 259, we're going to put that one aside and go to the secondary one. I don't know why something about my days are off. 365 is 265. Yeah, there's something missing here. So we're on 259. 2 times 5 is 10, or we don't even have to go anywhere, but 2 times 5, or 25 times 9 equals 225. 225 is 15 by 15 equals 225. 225, 225. Do you want to see 225? Let me see. Where are you? Here. On this paper. See 252? I'm going to show you one in the down corner over here. Here. What happens is when you add up the 504 that I told you with the multiple of these numbers, the numbers on this page here, those little circles, okay? Once you multiply them, and the answer is 504 from this diagram over here, plus 15 is 519. Okay? 5 times 1, 5 by 9 is 45. Do you follow me? 45 and 9 and 5 is 59 again, and 1 is 60. 60 becomes 66. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 12 is 48, and 4 and 8 is 3 again. Now, I didn't explain that one properly, but I will show you this. On the talisman of Saturn, right, the top 3 numbers on the talisman of Saturn and in the Mayan calendar are both 525. You will see the number. It will be right up in the top corner. It's a talisman. It's from Saturn. It says Libra and Saturn of the talisman right now. And it's number 4, and then it's number 9, and then it's number 2. But because that's the number inside another coordinate, we're going to add on the coordinate space where 4 is in the 1 spot, add on 1, it becomes 5. In the 2 spot is 9, add 9 and 2 is 11, 1 and 1 is 2. And then when you go to the 3rd spot where the 2 is, you must add 3 to 2 to make 5. You have 5, 2, 5. 5 times 2 left, 5 times 2 right. 5 plus 2 left, 5 plus 2 right. You get 1771. And you also get the word sixa. Axis, backwards. You ever see that word backwards? Do I have it here somewhere? No, I don't have it. I don't know why I don't have it. But S-I-X-A, the word 6, and A for the angel. I needed to have that. 6,
6 axis. I think I made a mistake in a video before, and I never said it. This would be 6. This would be 9, and 6 is 15 is 6. This is 19 plus 9 is 28 is 1. Anyways, forget about that because I don't have it in front of me and I don't have the time. So we added this over to that grid from Saturn. At the same time, when we multiplied and add this, we ended up with 3, 8 is 11. 8, 3 is 11. And I don't like the way I'm showing this right now. Something's missing in it. I do not know what it is. So yes, we talked about the 504 hours. If we're playing it by 3 days, 1 day, 6 days, 3 days, 1 day, which in fact should be 1,008 hours, which would be 90. Wow, I can't even explain that, and I understand it. Anyways, let's jump over to something else. Second part of Rubik's Cube, if you take a look, we passed the line because there's 3 lines here, so we're allowed to pass a line. When I pass the line, it becomes A. The F, everybody owns their own box, okay? The A stretches out, but he has room left in the box to do something else, so he creates an F. AF equals to 7. Here, he keeps creating as the line goes. He makes right over here, he makes an 8. We're supposed to count the in-between openings. Do you see the in-between opening over here? And there's an in-between opening over here. We're not counting it right now. We're just going with the basic letters. So this would become 1, 6, 8, 8. You see, 3, 3, F, or 7. 1, 7. Because we're using up the whole line here. So let me finish it off, all right? So when we finish it off, this would be actually 1, 6, 8, 8, 3, 3. See, this is the F backwards. It becomes a 7. Then the A, or we don't use it because it's 2 7s, and this is just a line. I told you we won't count the line, but we have to count the line in here because this box is being used. This is backwards. Anyways, I go 7, 1, 7 in this. At the same time, if you do it this way, it becomes 8 because this is a 7. Forget about the F. It's a 7. Okay? If it's on this side, you see when it happens, hold on a second. Let me stop. 1, 2, 3 letters, 1, 2, 3. So on this side, it becomes one way. On this side, it becomes the other way. We can do it that way because there's more than one way. AF, 8, 8, 3, 3, 7, 1, 7. Or we can go, well, I have to say 1, 6. 1, 6, 8, 8, 3, 3, 7, 1, 7. And that would be the number. If you want to spell it out, it says VO, VIO, 110. Then it says 60110. Now it says 66116. It says this, okay, and it says this because I reverted all zeros to 6s. 6 and 6 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 2, 6. 3 times 26 is 78. And we're back to 78 it's got to be something to do with the commander ship. I can't figure the whole thing out. Let me try and show you something else. When you revert 2000, the year 2000, to complete numbers, you end up with 2672, 666, 666, 672. You add one more 6 onto it. 666 is 18. 18. Anyways, 2762 over, why are my numbers wrong? 2762. 22776. Okay. It has to be reversed. 2 and 2 is 4. 6 and 7 is 13 is 4. 7 and 6 is 13 is 4. 2 and 2 is 4. So that's your year 2000 is showing you 4444. And that's the period we're in. You see, it takes 48 to create 44, and that's the Super Bowl time we're in. We did Lovejoy, we did this, we did the sun. So what we spoke about with that 504 is our sun hours. 54 is the sun, and 5 times 4 and 5 plus 4 equals 29. And that is the word IT, it. And it stands for Rubik's Cube. I don't know where it is in here. I can look for it. But it stands for Rubik's Cube. Here it is. I found it. Love is 54. Okay? 5 times 4 equals 20. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 29 plus 6 equals 35. That's the egg. 0 equals 6. We have the 6 is 35. 5 and 4, 9. Wait a second. Where is it? 5 and 4 is 9. Why did I add 14 here? Oh, right. Let me turn it. Just give me a minute. Wow, why did I go to 43? 5 by 4 is 20, becomes 29, plus 6 is 35. 3 times 5 is 15, 3 plus 5 is 8. So you now have the 8 hole of Rubik's Cube, where there's 6 faces, and we call it the 8 hole because 8 and 6 reflect. It becomes number 23, it becomes number 11 Rubik's Cube. 1 and 1 is 2. The other thing about this is it's the birth, 2 and 9. 29 and 29 is 58. Wow, I'm not doing this good. I don't like this part. Wow. Then there's I showed you the 5745. I told you about the roulette. When I'm alone, it was going good for a while. Another thing with Rubik's Cube, there's another way to get to Rubik's Cube. It's with 9 and 6. That's the other way to get it. The first way is 5 and 4. And the other way, the opposite way, is 9 and 6. Just like at the beginning, you're asking me what 1 and 4 is. 1 and 4 says DNA. A, D, and the 14th letter is N. When you put it together, it creates 9. Creates 999 and connects to Jupiter. These are the numbers, 41, 47. 47 is T-I-M-E, time. Everything is 47. 6 plus 41 makes you 47. Man in the time. So that's where we're losing time. Somehow we're losing 6 something. 6 hours, 6 minutes. So we looked at viola, we looked at 626, we looked at 564, became 586, became 259, became 90. That's right. Okay, here it is. This is what we're going to do. When we ended up with 564 from the sun from before, or these numbers over here, which is this, which is the circle, inside circle, which is probably our inner solar system. This would be maybe the outside. I'm not quite sure. Someone can help me. When we get the total number of hours and we put them all together and it comes to 586, and everybody knows 8 and 6 is 14, 8 and 5 is 13. On this side, we end up with 8 times 5 and 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is 13, 8 times 5 is 40, 40 and 13 is 53. 53 plus the 6, because there was 0 involved, is now 59. 9 times 5 is 45. 4 and 5 is 9. 6 times 8 is 48. And 14 is 62. 6 and 2 is 8. We get 8 and 9 out of the sun. Out of the sun, we get 8 and 9. We're running this world on 147. So what's out of the sun? 8 and 9. 9 times 8 is 72. Everything on the outside of the perimeter. It may be 2 numbers, but it's the position they're in of the numbers of what their value is. I don't know if I did this well. There was one other part I was going to do, but this video is way too long, so I'm going to leave it for after. What else can I put in here? So I want to get, since we're going to finish this, you know what? We ended up with a number here, which was AF883, where's my pen? 33717. Now, I know the first 2 really want to go together. They're built off of it, but so are the last 2. So if I build the first 2 together, which would be, well, for me, it's just an F. This has got to be an F6. And it's like Roman numerals. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be like Roman numerals. You got to look at this. It's weird. It's like Roman numerals. This one becomes the F, okay? But because this one is before the A, it becomes what? 7? But when you're making a capital letter this way, or you're making a capital letter this way, they both become F again. This one, if the F is before, let's make it an F. But the one after, we can't make a G, we can make it a 7. But can we play between the 2 worlds? Why don't we just do it this way? Why don't we just attach it all together? This one will break up. Ace and 1 is 7. Ace and F is 7. Ace and F is 7. 7, 7, 3, 3, 8, 8, 7. Because there's only one side. 7, 8, 8, 3, 3, 7, 7.
Wow. 337,788. That's it. Octagon, triangle, square. Definitely perfect. I forgot to show you this. Yes, 5 times 4. That's why it's Rubik's. It's Rubik's short count. The interior, the exterior we were talking about just 2 minutes ago. But Rubik's, the reason why it's it is because of this. It's like the egg. The reason why 8 is the division of anything is because on the low side, before you open the gate, and you have to have electricity, is 1 and 7. Creates 8, C and C. One goes with this C, one goes with that C. C and C is 6, plus 1 and 1 is 8. I can count, but is there any relevance inside this video? Another thing, back to this, for those who didn't watch, I have 200 pages of this, and this is what first happened. This was the first thing. Dragon Ball Z, the numbers come into it. Oh, and it says Hitler on it at the same time. Look, Hilf. You don't have to see anything any more than that. Hilf, Sigmund Freud, Einstein, it's all in there. I-10. They can go Satan, they can go I-10, which is 8-10, which can say 7-8-10. 7-8-10, it sure did, because once they opened that gate, there was no more child in the beden. You see, while your mother's pregnant, she goes, oh, you're pregnant. And then when the belly goes away, oh, you're not pregnant anymore. So, does it have a value? Thank you for watching. 7286, the constellation of Pegasus. In the year coming up, 5775, Ison, Planet X, they're all out there. What's real? What's not real? There's a sparkling light in the sky, and everybody knows the silver matrix Mercedes is number 85. Number 58, 8 and 5, 5 and 8, 40 is 46, is 7, and 7 and 4. Why? Because 0 becomes 6 next to 1, it becomes 7. Did you follow me? Should I do it again? The minute you get a 10, the 0 disappears and is replaced with a 6. So the 1 stays where it is. So 1 and 6 is 7. That's all I have to say, and I'm thanking you very much for putting up with 2.5 hours of videos in which I didn't get much done. Anyways, wow. Oh, here it was. Here was the word. Axis. Axis. If you split this word in half, it shows you something else, but I'll leave it for next time. Gotta go take a shower. Thank you for watching. I'm like Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, why am I wearing this? I don't know. Every time I pull it on my hair, it bothers the shit out of me. And I met a lamb yesterday. No, seriously, I met a couple of lambs. They run after me and go, bah, bah. Wow. It was really cool. Thank you.